Good morning, class. Today our topic is ratio and proportion. Ratio. Children, you have already studied this ratio chapter. You have been studying from class 6. But now in more detail we are going to study in class 10th now. So a ratio is a comparison of the sizes of two or more quantities of the same kind by division. We know that if we can represent the ratio in the form of a fraction. If it is 2:3, then we can write down it as 2 upon 3. So it is a comparison of the sizes of two or more quantities of the same kind by division. If A and B are two quantities of the same kind in same units, children, this is very important. Ratio should always be in the same unit. Suppose one value is given in kilometer and the other value is given in meter, we cannot write in the ratio form. First we have to convert both the values in the same unit, then only we can represent it in the ratio form. So this is very important, in same units. Then the fraction A upon B is called the ratio of A to B. The quantities of A and B are called the terms of the ratio. Now A and B, these are the terms of the ratio, and A is called the first term. A is called the first term, that is known as antecedent, and B is called the second term or consequent. So if the ratio is given in the form of 3:4, then 3 is known as the first term, that is known as antecedent, and 4 is known as the second term, and it is known as consequent. Composition of ratios. Now compounded ratio. Children, first is the compounded ratio. When two or more ratios are multiplied together, they are said to be compounded. Like if A upon B, C upon D and E upon F are given ratios, if these ratios are given, children, and it is asked to find out the compounded ratio of these three ratios, then we will multiply these numerators, means all the first term of the ratios will be multiplied and second term will be multiplied. So A multiplied by C multiplied by E upon B multiplied by D multiplied by F, and it is the compounded ratio of A by B, C by D and E by F. Duplicate ratio. If A is to B is the given ratio, then its duplicate ratio is A square is to B square. Children, if it is given 2:3, ratio is given 2:3 and it is asked, find the duplicate ratio of 2:3. So what we are doing? We are doing the square of the first term and the second term. So A is to B is written as A square is to B square. Subduplicate ratio. Now here it was duplicate ratio, it is subduplicate ratio. Remember the difference. In the duplicate ratio, we are doing the square of the first term and the second term, and if in case subduplicate ratio is there, if A is to B is the given ratio, then its subduplicate ratio is under root A is to root B, under root B. So in the duplicate ratio, we are doing the square of the given ratio. In the case of subduplicate ratio, we will do the square root. So root A is to root B. Triplicate ratio. Triplicate ratio, if A is to B is the given ratio, then its triplicate ratio is A cube is to B cube. Now what we are doing? We are doing the cube of the given ratio. If A and B are the given ratio, then we are doing the cube of that. It is becoming A cube is to B cube. So A cube is the A cube is to B cube is its triplicate ratio. Subtriplicate ratio. If A is to B is the given ratio, then its subtriplicate ratio is cube root of A is to cube root of B. Children, as we were doing in the subduplicate, we were doing square root of A and B. If it is subtriplicate, then we will do cube root of A is to cube root of B. Proportion. An equality of two ratios is called proportion. Now if two ratios are taken, like 2:3 is to 4:5, like this, if two ratios are given, and if the product of the means and the product of the extremes are equal, then only it is called a proportion, that you have already studied in the junior classes. So an equality, children, equality is important. An equality of two ratios is called proportion. The quantities A, B, C and D are called the terms of the proportion. A, B, C and D are the, now there in the proportion we have four terms. We will always have four terms in the proportion. So A is the first term, B is second term, C is third term and D is the fourth term. First and fourth terms are called extremes, children. First and fourth terms are called extremes, and the second and the third terms are called means or middle terms. Continued proportion, children. This is important for class 10 children. This is new also. Continued proportion. The non-zero, children, this is important. Non-zero. Quantities of the same kind, A, B, C and D, are said to be in continued proportion if A by B is equal to B by C equals to C by D. Children, when we are writing the given terms in the continued form, whichever number you are writing in the denominator, it will start with that number in the second ratio, you can see. So A by B is equal to B by C equals to C by D, and further also we can write same way. That's why it is said continued proportion, because it is continued in the second ratio here. So it is in the form of continued proportion. Some properties of ratio and proportion. Now what are the properties related to these ratio and proportion? First is invertendo. In the invertendo, children, if two ratios are given like this, if A upon B is equal to C upon D, then by invertendo what we have to do? We have to do the reciprocal on both sides. If it is depending upon the requirement of the question, children, it will be used in the proving also, that if you are getting the answer like this and we want in that form, then we can apply this property invertendo to do the reciprocal on both sides, and then the question will be solved according to that. So we are doing the reciprocal in case of invertendo. Alternando. If A upon B is equal to C upon D, then by alternando, what we are doing? We are changing these numbers. See, children, B is going there and C is coming here. So A upon C is equal to B by D. So it all depends upon the requirement of the question only, by which property we can reach to this conclusion. So it is depending upon that property, and it is known as alternando. So A by B equals to C by D will be written as A by C is equal to B by D. Then componendo. If A upon B is equal to C upon D, then by componendo A plus B upon B. Now what we are doing? We are adding the denominator on both sides. So A plus B upon B is equal to C plus D upon D. That is componendo. So A plus B upon B is equal to C plus D upon D. Then next property is dividendo. If A by B is equal to C by D, then by dividendo. Now children, in the componendo what we were doing? We were adding the denominator. In case of dividendo, what we are doing? We are subtracting the denominator. So A minus B upon B is equal to C minus D upon D. Children, these two properties are hardly used anywhere, but this fifth property is very, very important related to your syllabus. One question is definitely going to come based on this componendo and dividendo. So this is very important property. Try to understand this one. If A upon B is equal to C upon D, then by componendo and dividendo, this property, componendo and dividendo, what we are doing? We are adding the numerator, we are adding the denominator, and in the denominator we are subtracting. See, A plus B upon A minus B is equal to C plus D upon C minus D. That is numerator plus denominator upon numerator minus denominator is equal to numerator plus denominator upon numerator minus denominator. So this is very, very important property, children, componendo and dividendo. And the last property, it is if A by B is equal to C by D equals to E by F, three ratios are given like this, then each ratio will be equal to sum of the antecedents upon sum of the consequents, that is A plus C plus E upon B plus D plus F equals to sum of antecedents upon sum of consequents.